RedShark's IBC coverage is brought to you by Matrox, Simply, and VizRT.
So Brett, tell me something about the camera behind you and how you use this camera in virtual production.
Yeah, so I'm here with Canon at the IBC and they have a virtual production setup which is using C500 Mark II, and they've also got a C300 Mark III up there, but I've used the 500 Mark II a lot on virtual production. Obviously with the full frame sensor it works really nicely. You know, it's good because you get a lot of moire on, you know, if you're not careful on virtual production. So the 500 is a really good camera for that. The other thing as well, you've got Genlock straight in, and the Genlock being Canon coming from, I think, from a broadcast background, the Genlock works really well. We use the Sumire primes, which are their slightly more organic prime lenses, and that's one of them there. It's sort of based on a sort of an older lens design, I guess. Originally, it's getting a bit more of an organic feel to it. And on the virtual production stuff, it worked really nicely because it gives a little bit of flair, so it wrapped around the subject, and you could actually, you know, that puts them into the image a lot more, because obviously, you know, you're trying to put a three-dimensional people or whatever you're shooting into a 2D image at the background, and it works really nicely. And the other thing they've got here, which is I'm quite excited about, is the new flex zooms. And these full frame zooms, and on virtual production, I think they'll be really, really nice. Haven't tested on virtual production other than what we've got here, but I mean, it seems to, you know, it's a really nice look. And I've never been a zoom lens lover, but with these, what I've really liked about them is they feel like a prime lens. And obviously also as well, they're giving all the metadata that's controlling the engine, the Unreal Engine, to give the correct image in the background. I mean, with the flex zooms, you know, they sit with the CNE lenses a little bit more, which are obviously the classic Canon primes. They all have the metadata come out. The Sumire is slightly different, doesn't have the metadata coming out, but on a lot of virtual productions, you can either run an encoder anyway, so you can still get the metadata a different way. Obviously, with that being built in, it works a lot better, gives you all the information, and then if you're using stuff back in a post workflow, you've got all that detail that you can then feed in to use for comping and everything else.
So Brett, is virtual production the future?
Virtual production is another tool, I think, in our tool bag. I mean, especially with things like sustainability coming into play, you know, the size of crews, where you're allowed to shoot, how many people you can do, the time frame. So yes, it's always going to have a place. It's going to keep getting better and better. So it's not going to go away, and it's a technology you have to learn.
Because I think that a lot of people are a bit on the fence with the tech side of it. Like, yeah, it feels so techy instead of creative.
It is really techy, and it's also interesting because really you've got two worlds coming together. You've got the gaming world coming together and the film world coming together. Obviously what powers these screens, Unreal Engine, comes from a gaming background. And then obviously you've got filmmakers and you're trying to bring it together. So there's a little bit of a clash on that side. I think it's getting better and better because they all use different terminologies, but it seems to be getting a bit of a level playing field now with the terminologies and the way it works. But you know, as far as shooting in a studio, if you've got the right technical people around you, it's just like shooting any other way. You just got to have the correct technical people on the equipment on the way through.
You give me hope.
Give you hope. No, look, I mean, it is a technology. It has to be learned. Yeah, and the 500 I found really good for that. You know, you've got a big dynamic range. It's, you know, the images and color consistency is a really important thing.